Nearly 200 years ago, the United States Supreme Court published its first reports, a significant step for official court reporting in this country. When that court's first official reporter, Alexander Dallas, prepared the pages for the year 1800, he carefully numbered them by hand, from 1 to 17. Today, that would take a long, long time. For as you know, in the years since 1800, the number of cases heard by the Supreme Court has risen dramatically. Today, each year's official record may have as many as 4,000 pages. Yet, the Supreme Court reports are just one element in this growing mass of material, a mountain that includes over 50,000 reported federal and state court opinions each year, nearly 450,000 pages alone. When you add this to the large number of new statutes each year and to the multitude of regulations and executive documents, you can see what a challenge you face in your legal research. Fortunately, there are many tools available to help you in your search for relevant legal information. And today, it's not at all surprising that one of these tools, a new kind of legal research assistant, is the computer. The computer and its technology are the vehicle for today's sophisticated information services, which include Westlaw, the computer-assisted legal research service from West Publishing Company. Because it works with the speed and precision that only a computer can, Westlaw is a powerful instrument. Documents from thousands of volumes can be located in seconds. Westlaw provides the full text of published cases, along with editorial synopses and headnotes, retrieves administrative documents that may be difficult to locate in print, as well as unpublished slip opinions, and with the touch of one key on the custom terminal, shepherdizes a case instantly. Yet, for all the capabilities of computer assistance, what it won't do is replace you, your mind, and your ability for creative problem solving. What it will do is provide you with another tool to use along with traditional research materials. In order to use Westlaw, you'll need the proper equipment, a terminal consisting of a keyboard and video display screen, and a printer. The terminal is linked by telephone lines to the mainframe computer at West Publishing's headquarters in St. Paul, Minnesota. When you send a query to the mainframe computer, it examines and identifies documents which meet your request. If you're familiar with the organization of printed legal materials, then you already know many of the documents that Westlaw contains. For example, all court opinions available in regional and federal reporters are available in Westlaw, from their starting point of coverage in each database. In addition to these materials, Westlaw contains many other databases, such as the Federal Bankruptcy Reporter, the Internal Revenue Code, Federal Securities Cases, and Black's Law Dictionary. When you use Westlaw, you can search every document in each database at once. It's not as complicated as it might seem. Westlaw is, after all, an index. Instead of turning pages, you're pressing keys on a computer terminal. But beyond that, what sets it apart from traditional research tools is just how comprehensive an index it is. Westlaw indexes every significant word and number in the documents it contains. Using this capability, you can locate materials by using terms not found in traditional indexing systems. If you wanted to find all the documents containing the word asbestos or the product name Sony, you could do it, and do it quickly. You could find all the cases decided by Judge Rehnquist on the issue of the Fourth Amendment, or locate all cases where Coca-Cola has been a defendant. But you have to do your homework. You have to be prepared when you sit down to use Westlaw. You need to understand the legal concepts and the vocabulary which apply to the issue you're researching. Then, you can creatively develop your query or question using search terms specific to your issue. Once you have refined your query and are retrieving relevant cases, you can print a list of those citations. This list can be used to review the cases in their published form. Reading entire cases on the computer or using computer time to print them out is not cost-effective. That's why most researchers will use their law library to read the material in depth. It's important to remember that both traditional and computer-assisted legal research methods are tools. tools that work best when used properly and creatively. Let's see what happens when they're put to work.
Hi there, Mr. Stone.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Good to meet you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned on the phone that you were involved in an airplane accident.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Well, like I told you, I work for Data Lock Corporation here in Albany, and I'm also a pilot, so I frequently fly myself to business meetings when they're in this part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, last month I flew from here to Utica. It was a beautiful winter day for flying. The runways were just clear and dry. I have my own plane. It's a Judson 450. Checked out perfectly. It should. It's a brand new plane. It was a new plane anyway. Well, the flight itself was really uneventful. I checked into Utica and got landing instructions, made my approach, and as I'm coming in for a landing, I touched down with both main wheels. And then I brought the nose gear in for a landing, and it collapsed, and I dove right into the pavement. The prop hit the ground, stopped, and then the plane flipped over.
Oh. Tell me, Mr. Stone, excuse me, how badly were you injured?
Well, besides a few bruises and a mild concussion, something in the plane when it flipped hit me in the eye. I have no vision in it.
Is there any chance of recovering the use of that eye?
My physician says none. The retina is detached and badly damaged. He said I'll never see out of that eye again.
Well, tell me how badly the aircraft was damaged.
Well, the prop and the engine are so badly damaged they're going to have to be replaced. And the fuselage is a mess. The estimate for damages is $33,000, I think. Harris Aviation has the...
I realize, Mr. Stone, that you are an experienced pilot, and I do hope you won't be offended, but I do have to ask this. Is there any possibility that pilot error could have contributed to the
No,
accident?
absolutely not. My landing was absolutely perfect that day.
Okay. Well, I think that that's all for today. I'll be in touch with you tomorrow, okay? And thank you so much for coming in.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Susan, could you see if Mike's in? Yeah, I have some details on the Stone case I want to discuss with him. Oh, and see if Tom's finished with the research he's doing and have him join us. Thanks.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Mike.
I understand you have something on the Stone case?
Yeah, Mr. Stone just left here a few minutes ago, and I do have some new details. Although I would like to wait and have Tom join us, okay? I'd like him to hear this.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is now. Come on
Hi,
in,
Tom.
Tom. I have some details on that Stone case. James Stone, age 40, licensed pilot, 15 years flying experience, flying from here to Utica. It was a good day for flying. He had a new airplane. Upon landing, the front end collapses onto the runway, damaging the airplane and injuring Mr. Stone. Pilot error seems unlikely. Equipment defect or malfunction seems plausible. Good possibility for product liability action.
Yeah, I think so. So, Carol, tell me now, bottom line on this, do we have a good chance of winning?
Yep.
Making some money in this thing?
I think so.
Good. Let's go ahead with it. Give me a memorandum, put it on my desk in the morning detailing our position, okay?
Okie doke.
Good. Thanks, Carol. You did a nice job.
Thank you.
Before we go anywhere with a Westlaw query, we're going to have to settle on the issues involved.
Well, we do know how Mr. Stone was injured, so we're interested in cases where damages were awarded for an eye injury. Although he's not totally blind, he only lost sight in one eye. We need cases where damages were awarded for the loss of one eye. Let's start by searching the Northeast Reporter and, let's see, the Federal Reporter databases. Okay?
Let me start with the Northeast.
Okay.
Let's work this into a query. We've already identified the appropriate terms. We want to see if we want to expand on any of the routes. And we'll also want to consider alternate terms like eye or vision, sight,
Right and left, I imagine.
right, left, one. And we'll use the proper connectors. Let's see how this looks.
Okay.
Loss in the same sentence with one or right or left, in the same sentence with I, and damages in the same sentence with I or vision or sight. Let's see what that calls out.
Okay.
The documents from Northeast are coming up. We've got 13 cases. Ranked by age, they should give us a good idea of what the most current recovery amounts are. Here's the most recent one. Loss of an eye from being struck by a golf ball at a country club. Let's browse a few more cases, see what they have.
Looks like an automobile accident.
Yeah, loss of an eye in an automobile accident. $225,000 award. Not too bad.
No.
Why don't I simply print out a list of these citations?
Why don't you go ahead and print it? And then we'll talk about it later in the library. Okay? And then after you check the Fed's second, I want to discuss another issue with you.
We've retrieved 25 cases in Fed second. Why don't we browse some of these, then we can print out a citation list again.
Okay, let me see what we're getting here. Okay, we'll want to talk with Mr. Stone again and look closely at some of these recent cases as we develop our own position regarding settlement. I'm only interested in looking at cases since 1970. That'll give us a rough idea of the dollar amounts awarded for damages, okay? So why don't you print a list of those cases since 1970? And then as soon as that printout is done, get us off billable time. We also need to look at the product liability issue. We'll know more after we get the accident report, but from what Mr. Stone says, the accident was directly related to a nose gear failure. So we're interested in cases that involved an airplane that resulted in an accident, okay, a defect in an airplane that resulted in an accident. Our key search terms would be product and liability, airplane, aircraft, and, oh, let's add helicopter, okay? And let's continue searching in Northeast and Fed.
Let's try searching the synopsis and digest fields for product or product's liability and airplane or aircraft or helicopter.
Helicopter, right?
That should give us all the cases where the editors have included those terms in either the synopsis and headnotes.
Okay, sounds good. Good, here comes the first case in Northeast. We have 4 cases here. The first involving an airplane crash and the question of comparative negligence. Go on to the next one, okay? Let's see what we have. Okay, here's one involving a wrongful death. Okay, go on to the next. This is a statute of limitations problem. Go on.
Not what we want.
Okay. Yeah, this one's better. This one's on point. Recovery for injuries sustained in an airplane accident. Let's see what other cases say about this case. We shepherdize it so we can look at those citations.
It's easy enough done. There are a lot of references to this case.
Yeah.
I think we should maybe limit it to those that either distinguished or explained the case.
All right. Why don't you print out that screen and then go back to Westlaw? Okay, I'd like to examine this case's prior and subsequent histories by using InstaCite. Can you check and see if this case is still valid?
Yeah.
Okay, I see the case we have hasn't been appealed. I'd like to look for federal cases now.
All right, we'll change databases to federal. Again, we'll stay in the synopsis and digest fields. We've got 47 cases this time.
Let's try to restrict our search.
How about if I eliminate the word helicopter?
Good idea.
That should limit our search.
We really don't need that in there anyway. Okay. Still 44 cases.
We'll need to add a couple of terms to limit the search.
I know, why don't you add design and defect in the same sentence?
All right. Insert the root word design and the root word defect. See what that calls up. We're still operating in the synopsis and digest fields.
Yeah.
Good, we've got only 18 cases this
good.
time. That's a lot more manageable.
Really, why don't you browse through several of those, okay? I want to go talk to Mike for just a second. I'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Okay.
I'm back. Did you find any cases on point?
Yes, several. I printed them out.
Oh, terrific. Okay, the next thing I'm initially interested in is the names of expert witnesses in aviation accidents.
All right. Let me go off billable time a minute.
Good idea.
If we're looking for experts, we'll be in the Forensic Services Directory.
We're looking for someone in accident reconstruction, preferably on the East Coast. Let's search the prelim field for accident and reconstruction and aviation. That'll give us the experts classified under that heading. Oh, and if we add the name field using a cluster of states around us, we'll pull up just the experts in that region.
Which state should we use?
Well, let's use New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania.
Is that all?
Yeah, let's just start with that and see what we come up with.
Okay, we'll be operating in the Forensic Services Directory.
Mm-hmm.
Our query is in the prelim field, accident and reconstruction and aviation. And in the name field, New York or Pennsylvania or New Jersey or Massachusetts or Maryland.
Huh, I recall that there's a group of consultants down in White Plains. They should be on this list.
Here it is. American Forensic Engineers, White Plains. Their specialty may be just what we need.
Mm-hmm. Keep going through the list. Oh, yeah. Yep, here's a group from Pennsylvania. Why don't you print a list of the experts, and I'll check them out later.
We might also want to see if any of these experts have testified in any cases that we've drawn up. Their names, of course, would be in the opinions as witnesses.
Good
and
idea.
If we searched the opinion field, we'd find them.
Good idea. Let's keep that in mind. I think we do have the information we need to get started. Let's, after you sign off Westlaw, print up your billable time and give it to Susan. Okay. I'm going to go call Mr. Stone's physician and Harris Aviation. Start reading the product liability cases in Northeast, okay?
All right.
Okay, we already have a lot of good information. I hope we aren't here most of the night to outline our position, okay? See you in a few minutes.
Shouldn't take too long.
Hope not. Well, Mike should be happy with this.
As you've seen, Westlaw puts thousands of pages of research material at your fingertips. It locates relevant information quickly and thoroughly, information that could take a long time to discover by hand. Each time you write and enter a query, you create an index of search terms unique to your issue. This kind of control can add a new flexibility to your legal research work. The days when lawyers can rely solely on traditional research methods are gone. There's simply too much legal information to effectively examine by hand. Computer-assisted legal research is here now. Become familiar with it. Use it along with your problem-solving ability and with traditional research methods. Find out what the power of the computer can do for your legal research.